Good afternoon, and welcome to the inaugural Eddiena Schoolfield Oratorical Competition sponsored by Black Educators Are United Totally Yes, also known by the acronym BEAUTY, B-E-A-U-T-Y, of Beckley, West Virginia. This afternoon, you will have the opportunity to hear high school students who have worked to craft their speeches and hone in on their oratorical skills. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the competition. The Eddiena Schoolfield Oratorical Competition was named in honor of Beauty's oldest member. Mrs. Schoolfield, age 85, has worked in the education system for well over 50 years as a teacher, and lastly, for many years, as the Assistant Director of Federal School Programs. An orator, Mrs. Schoolfield has been sought out as a speaker in the Beckley community, as well as other communities in and outside the state of West Virginia. This competition provides an opportunity for students to develop a knowledge and appreciation of the art of public speaking, as well as to think critically on an assigned topic. Remembering some of the late, great Congressman John Lewis's words, quote, "You must find a way to get in the way. You must find a way to get in trouble, good trouble. Use what you have to help make the world a better place where no one is left behind. It is your time." End quote. The topic of today's speech is, what good trouble will you pursue to make the world a better place? Thank you for joining us and enjoy the competition.
Mr. Floyd's case caused the biggest Black Lives Matter movement of peaceful protest, both online and in person. I, for one, protest this cause online in lieu of this pandemic. But I also protest for women's rights to their own bodies, and I am also pro-choice. I plan to spread word about this around the town and hopefully have more protests and fundraisers for these causes. Many Black Lives Matter statements are mocked every day, and while our strong Black voices are protesting peacefully, they are often tear gassed or shot or arrested, or some even abducted and killed. These were peaceful protests. On January 6th, 2020, many Trump supporters forced their way into the nation's building. None of these people were treated as Black Lives Matter protesters were. These people rioted while our Black Lives Matter protesters sung in courtyards peacefully, and they got tear gassed. These Trump supporters defiled our nation's capital with almost zero harm. When will the double standard of racism end? Of course, racism just doesn't stop at Black people. It is often in the music industry, and it's called xenophobia. But it is being combated as of late. I am often exposed to this type of racism within the music industry. A good example would be the K-pop boy group BTS in their song Dynamite. The song Dynamite really shook the charts. The BTS's leader, Kim Namjoon, or RM, says this to Reuters magazine: "Since we're aliens to the music industry in America, we don't know if there's a place for us or not. You would hardly believe that this is from a person who has just received their first Billboard #1 on the music charts in their 7-year career." BTS has also been on the Billboard Music Awards, the American Music Awards. They've even presented a Grammy in the 2019 and performed with another artist at the 2020 Grammys. Xenophobic doesn't stop there either. It is often implemented into countries' beauty standards. For example, Korea. Koreans encourage their women to bleach their skin and get plastic surgery in order to become appealing to other men. I, for one, have been teased as such because of my hair. They called it big, unruly, ugly, nappy, and it really hurt me. And then one day I'd gotten so upset that I had to leave class and sit with another teacher in the teacher's lounge, and she told me that my hair was beautiful and that those boys would regret saying that ever in their lives when I become a woman. And that really stuck to me. And again, xenophobia doesn't end there. Many Americans express their xenophobic ways in the fight of border control and the more strict laws of immigration, making it very hard to come here. we need to get rid of these Eurocentric standards in both our music and our beauty standards. And we need to become more accepting of one another because we're all people. There's also been talk of whether global warming is real or fake. It has been proven by scientists many times that it is very much real and that government officials should take action, but they all deny it and they don't. They deny it. For this cause, I would be willing to chain myself to a tree or starve myself just for change. Because we have only one home. I would like to thank all of the beauty members for this very nice opportunity. And I promise you would hear my good trouble soon.
Don't be so stubborn. Do as you're told. I'm sure many of us have heard this statement before. Many say, it's for your own good. But what if I told you many activists and leaders accomplish so much by doing the exact opposite? Significant people, such as Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks, refused to give up their seat on a bus to white people because they felt they should not have to move simply because of the color of their skin. This was against the law at the time, and they both were well aware of it. It caused them both to be jailed, but created a remarkable and impactful movement known as the Montgomery Bus Boycott. During this time, from 1955 to 1956, to protest against racial segregation bus seating, African Americans refused to ride public buses in Montgomery, Alabama. As a result, the U.S. Supreme Court deemed racial segregation on buses as unconstitutional. This was a step forward in the right direction. Congressman John Lewis once said, "Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble." This is exactly what Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks did. They got in good trouble, necessary trouble. They refused to let those in power sway them from doing the right thing. Many people would say Colvin and Parks were stubborn for what they did. But had they not made some noise and got in good trouble, no change would have been made, and segregation on public buses would have prolonged. And who knows, would still be in existence today. Look at these amazing women became strong leaders, not only for the civil rights movement, but as an example for plenty of other leaders all around the world today, including myself. In fact, Rosa Parks is known as the mother of the civil rights movement. These women possessed all the knowledge and skills it takes to be a great leader. They were determined, self-sacrificing, influences, and self-aware. They risked and sacrificed their lives by refusing to give up their seats even though it was against the law. They knew the consequences, but knew racial problems were a much bigger issue. This right here is what you call true leadership. When asked about why she refused to give up her seat on the bus, Colvin stated, "It felt like Sojourner Truth was on one side, pushing me down, and Harriet Tubman was on the other side of me, pushing me down. I couldn't get up." Claudette Colvin could feel the pain and exhaustion of past leaders fighting for what was right. She felt empathy for them because she too could understand their pain. The pain they felt for years. In her book, Rosa Parks, My Story, Parks stated, "I was not tired physically, or no more tired than I usually was at the end of a working day. I was not old. Although some people have an image of me as being old then. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving up." She too felt exhausted of the treatment of African Americans at the time. She knew she must do something about it. She also says she would like to be known as a person who is concerned about freedom and equality and justice and prosperity for all people. This statement indicates that Rosa Parks is a true leader. She puts herself in others' shoes and recognizes their issues, then fights for them. "You must be fearful about what you are doing when it is right," Parks states in her book. "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. I am going to obey Rosa Parks' words. Once I know what is right, I will not allow fear to dominate over me. I will be stubborn. I will not give up. Determined to do what is right. I will be a leader. And I sure will make some noise and get in good trouble. Necessary trouble. Thank you."
John Lewis once said, "If you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it." There once was a group of little white girls who were happily playing together. As they were playing, a young black girl walked over to them and kindly asked if she could join them. One of the white little girls looked up at her and said, "No." "Well, why not?" asked the black girl. "Because if you touch our toys, you're going to make them dirty." "Yeah," said another white little girl. "If you touch the toys, they're going to look like you. And you know what you look like? Dirt." The little black girl stood there, frozen in awe. She looked at the girls and back at herself. What she didn't know was that there was another little black girl who was watching the whole scene unfold. Unable to comprehend why those girls would say such hurtful things, the girl felt something inside of her pushing her to do the right thing. Moments later, the black girl, who was discreetly watching from the sidelines, stood up from her seat and found herself walking towards the group of girls. When she got there, she spoke 3 simple but undeniably impactful words. "That's not nice." The group of girls turned around to see who had said that. When they saw her, one of them boorishly asked, "What did you say?" "I said what you said about her was not nice. It was wrong. Just because the color of her skin is darker than yours does not mean that she is dirty, nor does it mean that you have a right to say any of those rude things you said to her." The white girls looked at each other in confusion, gathered their toys together, and walked away. Just like that, got up and walked away. "Thank you," quietly said the girl who was shunned for the color of her skin. "Thank you for standing up for me. You see, I was the girl that stood up for her. To this day, I still think about that moment. The way it angered me and infuriated me to know that those girls thought that it was okay to pass off such cruel remarks about the color of somebody's skin. Something one cannot change or alter. That poor black little girl was speechless, silenced when those words came out of the mouths of those girls. Just when she thought it was over, somebody came in and used their voice to defend her. When I got home from school that day, I made a promise to myself. I promised myself that from that day on, no matter the situation nor the circumstance, I would not be silent, especially in the face of injustice. That I would get myself involved and be the voice for those who have been silenced or who feel like when they speak, their voices will go unheard. Unfortunately, unjustful acts are committed all over the world. From the passing of racist, sexist comments to police brutality and the wrongful killings of young black men and women. Injustice is well and alive in today's society. People are tortured and killed simply for having black skin. As a young black girl, I fear for my life each and every day. But by the grace of God, I am alive and well. I pray for protection over the lives of my fellow black brothers and sisters. For years, I have watched so many of them lose their lives to police brutality and other unjust acts. As a result, I have made it my responsibility to stand up, fight, and get into some good trouble. In fact, necessary trouble. Just like civil rights activist and former United States Representative John Lewis once advised. Nothing will distract me. Nothing will halt me. And absolutely nothing will silence me from using the voice that I have been given to advocate for those who come face to face with the horrible, gruesome, and inhumane injustices that occur not only in this nation, but all over the world. Thank you.
Good evening. I am here to present the contestants and winner of the Eddiena L. Schoolfield Oratorical Contest for 2021. Our first contestant is Nulashelle Angelaine Anderson McMillan. She is the daughter of Michelle K. McMillan. She is a junior at Woodrow Wilson High School. Her activities include theater, stage director for school play, past costume designer, past class president, and daycare volunteer. Our second contestant is Tylee Okosia Osamoa. She is the daughter of Cindy V. Osamoa. Tylee is a freshman at Woodrow Wilson High School. Her activities include dance, band, youth group, National Junior Honor Society, and National Academy of Future Physicians and Medical Scientists. Our last contestant is Nicole Osamoa. She is the daughter of Cindy V. Osamoa. She is a sophomore at Woodrow Wilson High School. Her activities include church, youth group, dance, band, theater, youth and government, and National Academy of Future Medical Leaders. And our first place winner and the recipient of a Hewlett-Packard laptop is Nicole Osamoa. Second place winner, Tylee Osamoa. And third place winner, Nulashelle Anderson McMillan. Congratulations to all of our contestants. Thank you for your participation as well as your eloquent oratorical abilities. And I need to show you the laptop. This is the laptop. Congratulations and thank you.
Let us bow our heads. Father, thank you for a beautiful day. It's been a blessed evening, Father. Father, thank you for our young people who did a wonderful job, Father, with their presentations. Father, if you would, Father, send the Holy Spirit down from heaven and continue to lead them, continue to guide them, Father, and let them know, Father, that you would never leave or forsake them, Father. And Father, bless our parents, bless our beauty members, Father, as we continue to work, Father, to help our young people get where they need to go. In closing, Father, thank you again for a beautiful and blessed day. We ask this prayer in your name, Jesus Christ, amen.
As we conclude our program and continue to celebrate Black History Month, Beauty is thankful that you, our audience, joined us for our first Eddiena L. Schoolfield Oratorical competition. We are most appreciative and grateful to our esteemed judges for giving up their time and expertise to select our winners and give constructive comments to the participants. In honor of our ancestors, Black leaders, Black students, Black families, Black educators, and lastly, and most importantly, our three lovely participants in today's competition, I'm saying, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Please stay healthy and keep safe. Turn it off.